because I have a crazy broken... Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Are you even kidding me? 107,000? Ah, this is so broken. Hello everybody, welcome to the Old School Game Snob channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at how to power level your smithing and basically never have to worry about money again, because smithing is super broken and overpowered right now. What you're going to want to start out by doing is visiting Sionon? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but this is where you're going to want to visit. Now, unfortunately, I'm at war with Sionon at the moment, so I can't really go there, but you probably can, and I'm going to make my base here at Maruneth? Yes, let's call it Maruneth. Anyway, the reason that you want to come over to Sionon is the availability of hardwood. So you've got a hardwood village here. You've got a hardwood village also here. Nope, not there. Somewhere very close by. Let's see, silver ore, hideout, no, hardwood. Well, the point is that there are actually three. There's another one. Hardwood. There's one. Okay. Hardwood there, and I believe, yeah, hardwood there. There they are. 1, 2, and then down there, 3. So you've got 3 great locations for hardwood, which is what you will be needing quite a bit of in order to create charcoal and other recipes. Now, what you will also want to do is find some worthy companions. If you get them young, that's better, because if they are young, low level, you will have an easier time assigning their skill points as you level up, and you will want to be training them up as smiths. A little bit later on in the game, I wasn't really able to find anybody lower than level 10, but earlier on in the game, if you get started earlier on, you might be able to find even lower level than that, and in which case your levels will come very quickly. You can quickly dump a bunch of focus points into the blacksmithing profession, and of course raise up endurance as well, and that will just make it a lot faster and easier for your NPC blacksmith assistants to assist you with greater assistance. So yeah, what you'll probably want to do is go ahead and recruit 2 to 3 Blacksmith Helpers. Depending on, like I say, how late you are in the game, you do not need this many, but this will help to expedite things. So I've got myself here as one of the smiths. I've got another smith, and another smith. Each one is going to sort of take on a different role. You will have your smith, your master smith, and that is your character with the best possibility of learning smithing the quickest, all the way up to the legendary smith level and beyond. But before that, you will also want to train up some smiths to assist in the smelting and the refining of materials that you will be needing. So what I have started out initially by doing is training a smith that is an efficient charcoal maker. You may want 1 or 2 of these efficient charcoal makers. Basically, this will allow you to convert your hardwood into charcoal at the ratio of 2 to 1 instead of 1 to 1. Or is it? No, it's 2.5 to... Well, it's 50% more efficient. I can't remember exactly the numbers, but it's 50% more efficient. The other thing you're going to want to eventually train one of your smiths into, at least 1, maybe 2, is the Steelmaker 2, Steelmaker 3. Once you have these Steelmaker options, you will be able to craft any of the various types of steel available, all the way up to the Thamaskene steel. Not sure if I said that right. And then beyond that, of course, the Practical Refiner is a good option for the refining stamina to be half, so you can refine twice as much in a single rest period. And then on the other side of things, you could potentially train up a smith to be a curious smith and curious smelter. what these will then do is allow you to learn recipes quicker. And the quicker you learn the recipes, the sooner you will be able to unlock some of the very high tier and super duper expensive items in the game. So okay, let's hop right into the smithery. Right now we've got some of the essentials out of the way. What I actually ended up doing to hire just the right NPCs, and let me actually just briefly touch on that, because what you'll notice is that my NPCs are higher in endurance, generally speaking, except for that one. She was low level, so I thought I'd recruit her. And this one was actually kind of my secondary character. But what you're looking for is higher endurance. If they have higher endurance, they will learn smithing quicker. So you can probably just kind of hire and fire a few NPCs until you find the one with good endurance and low level. Low level and good endurance is what you're looking for initially. If you can find a smith hero, that's great. I didn't seem to have one in my game. I'm not sure if they removed that or not, but I didn't seem to have a smith character at all. So I had to start from ground up and train a smith. But I remember in an earlier version of this game it was possible to find a character that already had smithing that you could hire. I'm not sure if that is removed or if that is still available, but just not in my game. Anyway, so let's jump into the smithy. Let me show you a little bit about how this is done. Initially, you will probably want to rest up. I actually probably need to get a little bit of hardwood, so I'm going to start out just by converting some of my hardwood into charcoal. You need charcoal for pretty much most things. If you want to conserve your hardwood, you will probably not want to create hardwood with a character that doesn't have the improved what I can't remember what the earlier talent is called now, but whatever the one is called, you'll probably want to save your hardwood. I'm actually going to try my best to make a break for the towns that sell hardwood, but it is a little bit surrounded by enemies at the moment, so I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and try to get around them. I'm a little bit outnumbered here at the moment and running around through enemy territory, but I am faster, so that should be fine. Speed for the win. Alright, so where were they? One there and one there. Okay. Yeah, I just really got to watch out being chased here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and buy some hardwood products. I should be able to get quite a few. Yep, 91 for only 18 gold a piece. Careful not to encumber myself, especially when I'm being chased by armies. I'm going to go and head over to the next little town, and this is actually going to load me up with quite a good amount of hardwood for quite a decent amount of time. I could probably even hit the third little hardwood spot, but 150 is roughly what I got, 160. That's a pretty decent amount. Where is the third hardwood spot? And then I can go and hide for a while from all these armies and just kind of be peaceful. Because here's the thing, you know, like, it's 55 to 500. But if you've seen some of my previous videos, you've seen me taking out entire armies by myself. And in this case, I have 55 of some of the highest tier archers you can find in the game. And the thing is, I don't want to hurt anybody today. You know, I easily could destroy all of those armies single-handedly. Might be exaggerating slightly here, but you know, I just don't want to hurt anybody today. I want to stay focused on my craft, the craft of smithing. Alright, so here we got a little bit more hardwood. That's pretty good, pretty fine. But as you can see, I'm already, even at a fairly low level, starting to craft some gear, some swords in the game that are starting to become a little bit overpowered in terms of how much they are worth. I'm actually going to head back to whatever you say. I'm going to head back over here where it's nice and safe. I got a bit of hardwood, just did a nice little hardwood run. And now, the thing is, when you need to recover your smithing stamina, you cannot actually do that while you're out moving around. You need to be stationary, I believe maybe even stationary in a town. So what I'm going to do is actually just synchronize everybody up here by refining a little bit of material. You will notice when you click on one of these things, and this is something I didn't notice till later, and I was trying to interpret what the icons were actually for. and then kind of line them up to what they were here. But actually, if you click on one of the materials, it'll actually add a little +1, -2 over the icons down below of your resource tab, so you can just kind of see what you are getting. So yeah, initially I'm going to refine up a little bit more of that, a little bit more what's it called, wrought iron, and then I'll do a little bit more wrought iron, and maybe a little bit more wrought iron, since these ones, yeah, okay, now maybe I'll do a little bit of iron, since this smith is trained a little bit higher to be able to refine. Initially you will only be able to refine some of the basic stuff, and you have to kind of train your smiths up a bit to be able to refine then some of the better steel, fine steel, and then thermoplastic steel. Yeah, that's, you know, however you say that one. Okay, so yeah, like I said, you have to wait maybe about a day. I'm sorry, maybe about half a day to recover your smithing stamina to full. It's good to sync up all your NPCs, all of your smither helpers, so they're all at minimum stamina. And then you can go ahead and enter the smithy again. And everybody looks like they're nice and recharged, almost recharged all the way, good enough. Okay, so what you will initially want to start out doing is crafting some two-hand swords. There is a bit of a finesse to this, and it will not be a solid strategy for everyone, because everybody will get a little bit different components unlocked at a little bit different times. It's kind of random. But as you refine, as you smelt, as you forge, you will start to unlock recipes, and then you'll start to have recipes available to you for the different tiers of weapon. Initially, you'll probably want to start out with tier 1 or tier 2 war swords, and what you're kind of looking for is a recipe, a sword, a two-handed sword. I believe two-handed swords help you to level up the fastest. I believe. That may be incomplete data, but that's always what I use, and it seems to work the best. What you'll want to be looking for is a high difficulty item with a low mineral cost. Now, keeping in mind that as we go down the row, it gets harder and harder to get the material. So 2 wrought iron is worth maybe like 1 iron, and 2 iron is worth maybe 1 steel. That's not a precise formula, but just something to keep in mind. 1 fine steel is more valuable than, 8 crude irons, for example. So what you'll be wanting to look for is something in the low quality of material. So initially you can kind of click through and see what affects the amount of materials used. In my case, they all seem to be the same at tier 1. The next thing you'll want to look at is your hilt. Now, hilts are interesting because usually you can increase the difficulty of your smithing job quite a bit if you happen to have a higher level hilt, and sometimes you can find a hilt, or is that a pommel? I'm not sure. Hilt, head, guard. Oh, guard. It's called the guard. Okay. Professional smither here, as you can clearly see. But what you will want to do is find a high, basically the rule of thumb is find as high of a tier of an item as you can at a low cost of material and a high difficulty. The higher difficulty better, lower cost better. And one of the things you may notice is that the pommels, you can potentially up-level the difficulty of your craft quite a bit, but without sometimes necessarily increasing the difficulty of your without increasing the material cost of your craft all that much. So you really kind of have to play around, and you have to search through a bit and see what's available to you, and you'll notice, you'll see it when it happens, because when you craft something that's on the money, that's a good difficulty and a low cost, you'll start to see your smithing skill jump by a lot. 5 points, 10 points, sometimes 15 points a go, depending, on how challenging the particular recipe you're going for is. If you're getting like +1, or not any skill, then you should probably try to look for a different recipe when you're crafting something up. So basically, for the level that I'm at, and actually this is a great level to look for, I've kind of got this recipe figured out here now, and this is just a bit of trial and error. So once you find something that gives you a lot of skill, you know, it's not a bad idea to write it down, because you have to re-enter it in every time. So I'm going to go to tier 3, and I'm going to look for the what was it now? The oh no, I lost my thing. Hang on. Here we go. I'm just going to move this into my other screen. Bridge tip arming sword. I believe that one was this one here. The other thing you're going to want to do is usually pull up the size of it. That will often make the recipe more difficult. In this case, no, but just watch the difficulty slider over here to see what you're getting yourself into. The other component I found was a tier 4 pommel, which was the tapered thin guard in my case. I think I may need to create a little bit more steel before I get too far here. And then the grip was, for me, a tier 3 grip, which was the rough wrapped. Again, you can check if the size has any effect on that. And then I actually have a tier 4 pommel, but I'm going to go with what I used, which was the bulbous saber pommel, and now that gets the difficulty of this craft quite a ways up, but actually the material cost is not too bad. That being said, I think I need to craft a little bit of material first, so I'm just going to create some charcoal. I'm going to create some steel. Am I going to create some steel? Yes, I'll create some steel. And from there, I could potentially use a couple of my smiths now to forge this particular item, which will still be saved even if you jump around some of the characters and the menus. It'll still be saved until you exit the initial session, but you'll see after I craft this one, I jumped 9 skill points from one craft, and I'm at 66 smithing, so this is not a brand new, but you can see how powerful this becomes and how ridiculous this starts to become as you get up a little bit in tier. And I'm actually only using a tier 3 blade, a tier 4 guard, a tier 3 wrapped, tier 3 grip, and a tier 3 pommel, but you'll see how valuable these swords have now become. Basically, these swords are now overpowered, but it gets even more ridiculous from as we go further down the blacksmithing profession. It gets even more ridiculous, and I dare say more broken. But yeah, so I'm jumping up my smithing tier. I think that this smith is needing a little bit of additional learning focus points, and that's why she's starting to learn a little bit slower. So I could potentially just use her to create some more iron. But as we train up all of our smiths, it's better because, again, like I say, you can then use them to craft your components more efficiently, more readily as you need them. But I'll show you in just a second here. So I've got her as the curious smelter, so I think I'll make her the curious smith. And then she can learn recipe designs much faster from smithing. So Litka Willowbark is my curious smith, and she's got another focus point, which is great. I can bump up her smithing quite a lot. Oh, and she's even got a... oh, that's great. Okay, so as you can see, if you start a character at low level, you can train them up quite a bit quicker and really get them specialized in smithing skill, whereas some of the high-level characters take longer to level up, right? So if you start a character at level 25, it's going to take forever to get another level and another learning point and another, additional attribute point, etc. Okay, so let me show you, before I put a pause on this video, just how much these tier 3/4 weapons are worth, right? So check this out. These are now worth 22,000 gold, basically the entire supply of an entire city. So once you start getting to earning this amount of gold, and this is just getting started, but pretty much what you're going to want to do is trade your super high-priced gear for some of their super high-priced armor, which cannot be smithed yet. Actually, I have my eye on this Imperial Googled Googled, helmet. I don't know how to say that many words. I know enough words to talk, but I don't know all the words. Okay, so yeah, that's it for now. You know what, actually I'll keep recording here a little bit in case some of you want to see a little bit more about how the whole process goes, just kind of learn from example, although it seems, you know, it's fairly obvious, I think. But I'll do a couple of more rounds and then I'll put this video on pause until we get closer to the end game of things. But yeah, like I say, you will want to continue to experiment with the different blades and pommels and hilts and things that you're using until you get a ridiculous jump in skill points from doing a craft. And then, like I say, when you find that recipe that helps you jump up a lot, well, then you can just, you know, write that down. Well, reuse it a few times until it eventually stops becoming as valuable. Then you can always kind of tier up and see if there's something better. Just do a little bit of experimentation. Like I say, it will change depending on who's doing it, because the recipes available to you will be a little different depending, on what random number generator the game throws at you, what sort of luck you have. And I'm sure there are other YouTube videos out there which have some great suggestions on what recipes to use. There is actually one video I watched which says the harpoon head and the javelin, the javelin class, the harpoon head 3rd tier, and then the tree branch shaft 1st tier are some of the fastest leveling items. So keep your eye open for that. That's the harpoon head here, which I haven't unlocked yet, and the tree branch here, which I also haven't unlocked yet. And apparently this is meant to level up your smithing really quickly. I don't know if it does yet, but keep an eye out for that, because maybe it does. I'll update everybody if I do unlock that at some point, a little bit later in this video. Oh, I also forgot. Here's the thing. You might be tempted to sell your weapons initially. You can do that if you want to get a little extra gold, but if you don't need the gold right away, I recommend actually just continuing to smelt that back into usable items. It will help you to keep your supplies up, because you'll recover quite a lot of materials from smelting. And as you can see, especially if you have like the curious smelter and that sort of thing, those sort of perks, you can potentially gain a lot of recipes from smelting the stuff that you craft, especially if it's a little bit higher level. The higher the level the thing that you're smelting, the more potential you have to gain not only blacksmithing points but also additional recipes from it. Alright, okay, so let's rest a little bit here. Roughly half a day of resting should be good, and when I say half a day I mean about 12 hours. Seems to roughly do the trick. And yeah, it's nice they added this little smithing stamina bar here. So I'm going to continue to refine charcoal. I actually kind of wish I had 2 charcoal refiners now. I find myself needing it more. So I'll try to probably train a guy up for that when the time comes. Initially, like I say, let's see here. But yeah, like I say, also, feel free to power level your helpers. Not, you know, they if you train them up and not just and don't just use them to create your basic components, but if you train them up, they will be able to unlock perks that will then make the creation of raw components faster every day and more efficient. So yeah, when you have the opportunity to train up with their smithing, yeah, don't be shy, is kind of the long and short of that. Yeah, so like I say, I've got the ridged tipped arming sword. I'm going to crank that up all the way. You can see that increases the difficulty. And I'm actually just checking my notes here. There we go. So tier 4 on the hilt, which was the thin guard, and then tier 3 on the rough grip. Now I might be able to actually even level up a bit, but I'm going to keep going with this one for now because it's a fairly efficient recipe. But there may be other ones that are even so much better, and I should actually probably even test if there is. I should see this one actually jumps up the difficulty quite a lot, but doesn't increase the component cost for me. Do I have a tier 5 yet? No, not yet. Actually, I was on the wrong one. Do I have a tier 5? No, not yet. Tier 4. On the pommel, or rather the grip, I only have a tier 3. Do I have a tier 5? No, I do not, so I'll just stick with my tier 3. On the guard, do I have a tier 4? I am using a tier 4 already. Do I have a tier 5? I do have a tier 5, but it requires some fine steel. It really pumps up the difficulty level though. So I wonder if I could create a little bit of fine steel. I think only my main character can create fine steel, and he is too tired for today, so that's okay. I'll go back to tier 4 tapered thin guard, and lastly let's check again and see if we have a tier 4 blade. We do, so -1, -4 as compared to, oh, I need more ingredients. I'm sure a tier 5 blade would not be within reach at the moment. And these two are actually fairly similar. I wonder if they are similar in skill return. Let's try the cheaper one and see what we get. Jumped up 3 skill points. Let's try the the other one, somewhat more expensive one, and see if that was better. Jumped up 5. Yeah, I dare say the more, you know, it's not always the best to use the cheapest recipes. I know initially I said that earlier on, and earlier on that is probably the case, but eventually you'll probably notice that different recipes for some reason just seem to turn a different sort of difficulty level, and therefore skill points, more or less skill points. Now this can fluctuate a little bit, of course, but generally speaking, let's see here. Generally speaking, not all recipes are created equally, and when you find one that works, well, that's part of the challenge, just finding those good recipes that work. And then, like I say, when you got that curious smelter, or whatever that perk was called, you can go ahead and smelt up your stuff and get some good stuff back, get some of your materials back. Alright, moving right along, we're making some good progress here. We've got some leveling up to do. Alright, so we've got Litka Willowbark as my... What's she been going down? Steelmaker? Oh, so she's ready to make the level 3 steel, or has a 10% chance to create a fine weapon. Now, I don't think I really care all that much about the fine weapons, because eventually we're going to want to create the legendary weapons, so to me that perk seems a little bit not useful. I might, you know, there might be more details than that that I'm not aware of, but you know, who would want a masterwork or a fine weapon when there's a chance to create a legendary weapon if you're really going for those buffs? Whereas the ability to create some of the best steel now in the game seems more practical to me at this particular phase, and that's it. I think that's the only one. So now that I've actually unlocked the therma steel, whatever the hell it's called, I don't know. Now that I've unlocked it, I might be able to craft that tier 5 blade, which would be quite very fine. So I'm going to go ahead and rest up my characters again. And we'll see. You got to experiment. You got to experiment to know when you potentially have access to a recipe that will absolutely power level your character's skill up. So, okay, so Willowbark here can create the good stuff, the fine steel, and my main character Glamdring can create the fine steel. So I'm going to create a bit of that fine steel. That will be very fine. I don't know how much I'll need, maybe 8 for now. And want to make sure to keep my steel supplies available, generally speaking. So I'll just forge up some of the steel, and I'll make maybe a little bit more charcoal if I'm getting a bit low on that. And then we have my smelter here, and we have actually Ira will be able to create some of that very fine steel. And yeah, I don't know, what can she create? She can't create anything yet. She's my curious smelter, I believe. Okay, so let's take a look here and see if we can jump up the tier branch. So we need actually 3 of these. So this is a fairly expensive recipe. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when we just kind of max everything out. -3, -1, -4. At this point, anything below the Thamaskene steel is a bit moot as far as components and costs go. But now I'm crafting 215 difficulty, and I've only got 1 shot at this, but let's see what we get. Gained a skill point, a single skill point. Okay, so like I say, not all of the recipes are created equally. And that is, going to require a bit of experimentation on your part. When you find something that works really well, it may not be the most expensive, but here, let's go ahead and craft this one now and see if we don't get... Oh, we only got a single skill point again. Okay, interesting. Maybe she's requiring some additional learning points. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, you will eventually find recipes that really work well. And so yeah, just kind of keep experimenting until you find something that really works well. Alright, so I'm going to continue to play around at this and power level up as best as I can. If I find any more good recipes, I'll insert them into this video, and otherwise I'll see you guys in the later game. Yeah, I also just want to really emphasize the power of that particular recipe. You can see right here, it's just how expensive that is, 21,000. Where other blades of similar tier and even higher tier aren't going to necessarily cost that much. For some reason, I think there are certain weapons in the game which maybe are just a bit more broken than others. And this is it. Like I say, this tier 3 maximum. Pommel, make that tier 4 tapered thin guard, maximum size. On the grip here, we want tier 3 rough grip, and then for here we want actually tier 3 the bulbous saber. And yeah, this particular combination of things actually gives you quite a very fine, nice, good boost in skill. So yeah, let me forge one here. Oh, 1 skill point. Oh yeah, this guy's already kind of over the learning curve. Let me go here. We got 5 skill points. Right, she's already at 120, but she got 5 skill points just from that one go. Another 5 right there. Very nice. So yeah, that's and then like I say, refining these blades too, it kind of comes around again twice, is because for whatever reason they're considered a high quality expensive blade by the game, and so refining them actually It just gave me 2 skill points just for, sorry, smelting. Just for smelting one of them. The cat's on my desk trying to press the mouse button. I'm not sure. I guess, you know, she's a cat, so that stands to reason. But yeah, you get more ingredients, more skill, faster, just from creating that particular combination for sort of your early, middle-ish smithing career is a great combination if you can find it. And if not, something like it. Alright. Okay, we are back and we have unlocked the harpoon head. Make that maximum size, and we've also unlocked the tree branch. And okay, I think this is broken because it costs almost no materials to make, and I just forged my first try and I got 15 skill points for my smith, who already has a smithing of 149, so that doesn't make any sense. Let's try again. Oh yeah, plus 13 skill points. Okay, this is broken. So when you guys finally do get this recipe, it costs you nothing to make, and I dare say this is the end game right here, because, well, basically it costs nothing to make. That's it. I'm gonna smith up a little bit more here. Let's see, which one was it? It was just the regular old iron. That's all you need, regular iron, and you're good to go. Let's see here, refine for some regular old iron, wrought iron, iron, there we go. Actually, I think I'll need a little bit more of that stuff. And let's see, let's just load up on that a bit. Yeah, but I think this is it. I think this is game over. I'm not too sure how much this will kind of power level the skill up, but it is certainly very, 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 very cheap. Will it get you all the way to the end game? I'm not entirely sure, but we shall find out soon. Alright, just gonna make sure all of my smithies have a good amount of, have all their leveling up done. Refining is half, smelting is half. That's good. That's what I was looking for initially. Now I don't even think this is really going to be all that necessary anymore. Yeah. So, vigor, or control. Neither of those seem particularly helpful for this, but for this build. Okay, well, control then, sure. And we've already maxed out learning, so there's nothing more to gain here. And she's got a free learning point, doesn't really matter. As far as like having a smithy mule goes. Alright, let's see. I think I rested already, but let's find out. Nope, need to rest. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. Okay, that's my little timing song. Okay, back up to almost 100%. Almost, not quite, but let's call it close enough. So we are going to need, under the pike, we will take, the javelin rather. Where is it? Javelin, yada yada, yada yada, and yada yada. Just iron and wood and charcoal. Iron, wood, and charcoal. Okay, well, let's forge some of these. See what happens. Plus 12 skill points. Unlocked a whole bunch of recipes. 3 new recipes got unlocked. 6 more skill points. And a whole bunch, several additional recipes. Let's move it on over to my best smith right now, who's got smithing 188. Let's see how she does. Plus 8 skill points, and she gained a level. That's good. Look at all that. Look at all those recipes. That's just crazy. 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is broken. This is definitely broken. I don't think it's supposed to be this way. 202 smithy. This is the end game. I dare say. Let's see. I wonder if I even, need these additional characters all that much anymore. When I initially did it, I didn't know about this little tree branch technique. I'm calling it the tree branch technique. And I actually just hired this guy, and this is like his 3rd time smithing. He had 0 smithing when I started, and now he's up to 98 smithing with just like his second try, second session. That's ridiculous. That's definitely broken. Or was it 59? No, it was 98. 98. Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But I like it. If you want to play the game and not break it, maybe don't do this. But in my case, I'm just trying to actually power level up this account so I can create some interesting videos, etc., etc. And this is a shortcut. I've been at this for about maybe 2 to 3 hours now, and I'm almost at the end game of smithing, I would dare say. So yeah, a lot of that earlier stuff that I was talking about, almost a little bit kind of moot, all you really need to do. But here's the thing, right? In order to unlock those 2 components, right, you could potentially get skunked for quite a long time until you finally get what you're looking for. So, earlier on, I would dare say all the things I was talking about absolutely still apply. Trade penalty for... No, this doesn't even matter. There's no trade penalty. Are you kidding me? Wow, she's leveled up twice in just one go. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And she's got... I'll put a little more into endurance. So yeah, this is why it was great to start with a level 10. She leveled up to level 16 just with smithing here. She's got some additional focus points, but they're kind of irrelevant. If she's just going to be a smith, maybe I'll do something with her more later. But for now, that is what it is. I wonder what the value of one of those crazy spears is. So I have a crazy broken... Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Are you even kidding me? 107,000? Ah, this is so broken. This is not supposed to be like this. Oh man. Tier 6 crafted javelin? How does that even make sense? This is just broken. It's broken. This can't be right. Anyway, for my purposes, I actually, if you just want money, you're done. You don't need to do anything else. For my purposes, I want to level up to Grandmaster Smith and make some cool weapons, because you can make some stuff with your high level smith that you cannot get in the game otherwise. And it's fun to be able to control all of the various details to your weapon. I actually have a video that I uploaded on crafting the ultimate weapons, I think. Yeah, from a long time ago, like almost a year ago now, when I first started my YouTube channel. So check that out. I'm sure that still applies. It talks about swing speed, handling, all those sorts of things. So if you want to learn more about that, check out that video. It's somewhere in my channel. But yeah guys, that's it. Let's craft up some more of these, make sure we got enough steel, etc. I think that's the end game. I don't know what else to tell you. I think that's the end of this video. I'm pretty sure this is going to power us up all the way to the top. I'll maybe check in one more time once we get to the end game. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all there is to it. So yeah, basically mastery in smithing in a few hours, and you will never want for money or the best quality items again. I also think it's broken, so if you don't want a kind of spoiled experience, don't do this. Maybe just avoid selling your blacks. That's what I did the first time through, actually. I didn't want the broken experience, so I just avoided selling my super overpriced blacksmithing items entirely. But then money just came in so easily from trade routes and other things. So basically the economy is super easy to game currently, and it's kind of broken. So if you're looking for a challenge on that level, it's not there yet. It's not finished yet. I'm sure one day it'll be great. And I actually had a lot of fun. I won't actually ramble on too much. I'll stop this video here. And yeah, check in with you one more time when it's Grandmaster Smithy time. Otherwise, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. But yeah, here we go. Okay, that is it. We are about to assign the final skill point into Legendary Smith. And bing. Okay. Smithing is overpowered. I've been at this for a few hours here today, maybe 3. And if I really knew what I was doing, it would probably have been even faster. But I was figuring out a little bit along the way based on some updates since I last did this. Here's what we ended up with. We had Brigus the Wronged, who started out as a level 14 character, ended up at level 23. She has mastered out her smithing, increased her endurance a whole lot, and in addition to that, I've also maxed out her scouting. So she's going to now be the scout of my party. We've got Litka Willowbark, who has also maxed out her smithing. She's almost there. She started out at level 10, she's now level 23. Turned out she was pretty intelligent as well, so I also had a chance to max out her medicine and max out her engineering. So this is all character progression gained from smithing just in the last few hours. So overpowered is absolutely the word. And she's actually got another point to assign. I don't even really know what to assign it to. Who else? We actually ended up leveling up one additional guy right kind of halfway through the progress. He's almost mastered at smithing. He's I think I'm going to actually make him my rogue. So I've started assigning some points into there, maybe something like that. So yeah, just from leveling up on the smithing skill. So basically, what you will probably want to be doing, like you can see these are all some extra javelins that I was able to turn into 100,000 gold apiece. But probably since there's no shopkeeper that can ever afford all of this, you will probably want to trade them in for the high tier armor. You could also potentially use them to make peace with realms, or you know, do diplomatic negotiations when you need to do a little bit of bribery, but you don't have all the gold on hand because, like I say, where are you going to sell these? Since cities only have about 30,000 gold on hand at a time, you'd have to kind of do a trade run pilgrimage from city to city and sell them off to be able to turn them all into gold. But yeah, you can also just keep them all on hand and barter them at extreme high value. So, okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video on OP blacksmithing for the win. LOLs. Alright, have a great day. Okay, so it just occurred to me, instead of spending all that time refining, and this is just exasperating the silliness of this, but what if you could just, you know, buy some really high-priced weapons and refine them into high-value whatever the hell that steel was called, or you know, even get some low-value weapons, and then you could just basically smelt those into whatever you need, right? From city to city. Don't know how quickly they replenish those. Here I'm about to pay almost 100,000 Or am I? Am I? No, I don't think so, because... Wacha! Nope. Yeah. Okay. So this is a look. I thought the video was over, but it gets even more ridiculous. I'm going to go ahead and buy a few more items here. I will pay. I will pay. Will I pay? I don't think I'm going to pay that much. All right. I'm just going to add this up to about 100,000. There we go. And let's see, what would you accept in exchange for your city's entire arsenal of weapons? Would you be considering a crafted javelin? Oh, you would. And you'll even pay me an additional 29,000 gold? Wonderful. That's a trade. Done. That's fine. You can keep the change. I am fair and generous. You can keep the change. Oh man, okay, so it just gets more and more ridiculous. And now that I think backwards, this could have probably been done from an earlier on stage, even when you started crafting the two-handed swords that were worth about 20,000 apiece. You probably could have skipped a lot of the refining and just gone straight for the smelting, and potentially even made this more ridiculous. So yeah, let's see here. Let's go ahead and smelt. Let's get into the smelting of things. Smelting certainly is easy in the sense that, well, it's the quickest thing to do. You don't have to look at which components you need and all that sort of stuff. You just smelt. Live to smelt, smelt to live. You do still need some hardwood, though, so that is still important. So I'll go and refill my hardwood. Okay, but there's just a little extra tidbit that I just realized at the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right.